The family Chantel stars Chantel Everett and Pedro Jimeno rose to fame in the popular 90-Day Fiancé franchise. Their split is truly shocking. Pedro and Chantel's divorce was unexpected and heartbreaking, as they were seen as a strong and united couple. The divorce settlement may require them to split their assets equally. So far, the legal process has been filled with bitterness and accusations. Pedro may not have truly loved Chantel, as he comes from a family that values money more than love. He may have been planning to leave her so he could get ahead on his own. Chantel's efforts to please him were in vain. In the 90-Day Fiancé franchise, there have been some explosive divorces that really got headlines, but no breakup's been as shocking as Pedro Jimeno and Chantel Everett's. This golden couple seemed untouchable, despite warring in-laws and other bright red flags. For example, Chantel's hubby was possibly a bit of a ladies' man. Just a cursory glance at Pedro's Instagram shows that his fans notice his face and body. "Lookin' good, Pedro," one wrote, and mostly approve. That doesn't mean that they like anything else that Pedro does. In general, they don't, to the point that he's had to shut off his IG comments sometimes. Since they're conventionally attractive and appeared to be on the same page for so long, Pedro and Chantel's divorce was particularly heartbreaking. They seemed like the type of duo that should have lived happily ever after. Sure, there were problems, but for years, they were a united front, trying valiantly to stay together when their families were going out of their way to tear them apart. They got their spin-off, The Family Chantel, because they brought something special to their scenes together. Their love felt authentic. Pedro and Chantel didn't have a prenup, and while there's been no announcement that their divorce is formally finalized, they'll likely need to share their assets equally. As they've moved through the legal process, they've both made it crystal clear that they're estranged. Chantel allegedly cleaned out a lot of cash, hundreds of thousands of dollars, from their joint bank account, according to a bitter Pedro. Meanwhile, he's seemingly been flaunting his wealth online, memorably posting a pic of a stylish and pricey Audi RS. Bad blood during divorces isn't exactly uncommon. Amicable divorces are few and far between. However, people who watched the show probably didn't expect the pair's split to get so messy. Chatter that Pedro may have been romantically involved with his boss, Laura Delgado, added to the general murkiness of the proceedings. While Chantel was accused of stealing their money, Pedro got the brunt of the criticism, and he's definitely been slapped with the villain label. Pedro may not have loved Chantel as much as he seemed to. He comes from a family where it's par for the course to lack a moral compass and focus on personal gain. For example, his own mother, Lydia Morales, reviled for her romance with Pedro's father, who was married to another woman. She didn't seem to have qualms about that, and her conduct affected her children. Lydia's daughter, Nicole Jimeno, also has a mercenary quality. Overall, the family seems greedy, and all of Chantel's efforts to please Pedro were in vain. Was she set up to fail? There's always the chance that Pedro was planning to end his relationship with Chantel at some point, come what may. In other words, he may have planned to leave her from the start. If that's the case, his motive was probably money. Maybe he wanted to get the United States, leave her, and then make it on his own. That's how their breakup played out. Now, Pedro is embracing a real estate career in Georgia, even though he gets so much hate online. He seems determined to make it as a single man, and possibly that was always what he intended to do someday. Rumors about Pedro's relationship with his sister Nicole's best friend, Coraima Morla, also caused a ruckus, adding another layer of grime to an increasingly dirty split. While Pedro denies being unfaithful, he's not trusted. Chantel hung in there for a long time, and might have stuck around longer if her husband had been willing to try. However, it's surely for the best that they broke up, as their relationship wasn't equal. Pedro appeared to rule the roost, controlling Chantel. She loved him more, and that's not good. Now, the family Chantel celebs are moving on separately. While the family Chantel star's divorce was shocking, and the fallout continues, they may consider it a blessing in disguise someday, as their needs weren't getting met. Until the end, Chantel may have tried to convince herself that their marriage was worth saving.